Hey everyone, Jan here, codingwithjan.com. So today we will learn how to implement color swatches on your Shopify store. And that's going to be awesome. But before we get there, a super quick announcement. In 2023, I want to go back to creating more technical tutorials like this one right here. And I've been thinking a lot about how I can do that, because we have all these video ideas flying around, videos I know people would benefit from. Just with working on free mode and other stuff, I currently don't get as much content out as I would like to. And that's why I've now decided to bring in some very talented students from our bootcamp and then have them co-host these videos with me. So I'll be doing some, they will be doing some, but I still review everything. We prepare the videos together, write the scripts, and so on and so forth. And yeah, today is going to be the first video like that. So our host is going to be Josie, and I think she's been doing fantastic, but I also know it can be a bit scary to create content in the beginning. So I would really appreciate if you guys gave her a chance and also left some feedback. And with that being said, I really hope you have fun watching, and let's dive right in.
Hey everyone! In this video, I'll be showing you how you can set up color swatches like these to your Shopify store to give your customers a better shopping experience, which can also lead to increased sales. This solution is completely free, which requires no app installations that may slow down your store, and it's a scalable solution if you have hundreds of products. I'll be using the Dawn theme for this tutorial, but it's also compatible with the following free themes since they all have the same code base. These are Crave, Colorblock, Studio, Taste, Ride, Sense, Craft, and Refresh. You will find the code used in today's tutorial in the description, and you can copy and paste it as you follow along or double check your code for any errors. So let's jump right in and get started. So the product we will be working on for this tutorial are t-shirts, and we have 3 color options. So our first color is red, we have pink, and we have orange. And when we scroll down, we also have a featured image for each variant as well. The first thing we need to check is that our variant picker is set to pills, and by default, the Dawn theme already does that. So just to confirm, we're going to head on over to themes. We'll click customize. And once we're in the customizer, we're going to head over to products. We're going to click the default products. And on the left-hand side, we can see our variant picker. And here we want to confirm that our type is set to pills. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here we have our pills, and we're going to add some styling to these to transform them later into our color swatches. So let's go ahead and create those now. So now we're going to create our color swatches, and we're going to be using a free design tool called Canva. So go ahead and create a free account if you don't already have one. So I'm going to begin by creating a design. I'm going to go down and click custom size. And for the width and the height, we're going to say they're both 50 pixels each. And click create new design. So as you can see here, we have our blank canvas, and currently we have 3 color options for our product. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 extra pages for a total of 3, and I'm going to click my first canvas. I'm going to go over to the color block so we can add our background color, and we have 2 options here. We can either add a new color, so if you have a hex code, you can input that here. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and use the default colors. So our first color was red, our second color was pink, and our third color was orange. So I'm going to go ahead and click the File button. I'm going to click Download, and on the right-hand side, it'll pull up our download settings. So here I want to look at select pages, and currently we're selecting all 3 pages, which is great. So we can go ahead and download our color swatches. So here we have our freshly downloaded color swatches, and what I've done is I've renamed them to match the color options for our product. The capitalization is important because we're going to call these values later when we write our code. Let's upload our images by going to Settings. We're going to scroll down and click Files. So we're going to upload our files. So we'll click that. And we're going to add all of our images. We want to choose all of our colors and upload them to the store so we can have access to them in our theme. Now that our color swatches have been uploaded, we can go ahead and jump into our code. So let's head back over to our theme. So before we start adding our customizations, we always, and I cannot stress this enough, make a copy of your theme so that we always have a backup if anything goes wrong. So to do that, we're going to click the ellipsis button and click duplicate. Now that our copy is ready to go, we can go ahead and click the ellipsis button and click edit code. Now that we're in our code editor, we're going to search for the file we'll be working in, which is main product. These files have hundreds of lines of code, and we need to pinpoint the block of code to add our customizations. So to do that, we're going to go back to our product page, and we're going to right-click to look at our inspector tool. So on the top left corner of our inspector, there's an image of a mouse pointer, and we're going to go ahead and select that. This allows us to hover over our elements and select the code that we want to see. So let's click on the element, and we can see that our pills are in a variant radios element. So we can go back into our code editor and press Ctrl F or Command F if you have a Mac, and we're going to go ahead and type in radio and click enter. And here we have our radio button. So our button is nested in this for loop. So let's take a closer look at this. This first loop is going to loop through all the options for our product, which were size and color. And for each option, it will loop through all the values in this second loop. So this value variable is going to loop through the option.values to create and display our radio button values. So we can test that out by typing I am before the value variable. We're going to go ahead and click save and go back into our product page. And we're going to click refresh. So as you can see here, we have I am in all of our size values and our color values. So let's go back to our editor, and now we can confirm that this value displays our colors. All right, so this is where the magic happens, because now we can style the label element. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Here's our label element, and we're going to use an inline style. So we're going to type style, background image, and our image requires a URL, but we don't want to hard code our values. This is why we made sure to match our color swatch names to our color values. So we're going to use some liquid here and type in our value variable. We're going to append our file extension to that. So if the value is red, the image URL will now be red.png. So we're going to add another filter called the file URL. So this will replace our file name with the URL we just created. Let's click save and go back to our product page and click refresh. Awesome. So now we have our background colors applied. So we're halfway there. So we want to remove the text, and we're going to do that conditionally. If we have an option color, we want to remove the text, but keep our background color. But if we have any other option, like size, we want the text to stay there. So let's go back to our code editor so we can write our condition. We can do that by writing an if statement. So we're just going to go ahead and type that in here. And this is going to check which option we are looping over. So this information is stored in the option.name. So we're going to go ahead and use that to check if our name is equal to color. Okay, and then we're going to finish building our if statement. Here. to write else, do something, and then every if statement has to end. So here we will write our end if. Okay, so let's take our label and move it into the if statement. Go ahead and delete this one for now. So if we have an option color, we want our background image, but not the text. So here we can just delete our text value. So if our option name isn't equal to color, then our else condition will kick in. So here we're going to put in our label, and what we want to do is we need to remove the background because here we just want to keep the text. Let's get rid of this. So let's go ahead and save so we can see our results in the product page. Okay, and let's click refresh. Awesome. So as we can see, we removed our text for our color options, and we still have our text on our size options. So now what we want to do is style these color swatches to look like these. We want to round them and also have a way to differentiate between the colors selected. So let's go back into our code editor and let's give our label a class. Let's call it Color Swatch to make it easy. And click Save. Now we have to write our CSS, and we can either write it in this file, but let's write it in a separate CSS file to keep everything organized. So the file that we'll be writing our CSS is going to be in the section main-product.css file. So let's click on that and scroll all the way to the bottom, and we can write our CSS here. We're going to use the same CSS class we just created, and although the problem of adding our class here is that the theme CSS will still be applied. So what we want to do is we want to look for a class on our label that is a little bit more specific. So we're going to use our inspector tool to find that class. We're going to right click, go back to inspector. We're going to go to the top left and click the mouse icon again. We're going to go over and click one of our buttons. So here we have a product form input type radio label class, and we're going to go ahead and copy this class. We're going to go back into our editor, and we're going to paste this class right in front of our color swatch class. This class is specific since we're selecting a label for our radio input with our color swatch class. This will help override the theme settings. So let's add our styling. So we're going to add a height of 40 pixels, a width of 40 pixels as well. And then we're going to add a border radius of 100%. And this will make sure that our buttons are rounded. Now we need to determine which color swatch is currently selected and which one is not. So we can go ahead and reuse this class. So we'll just go ahead and copy, and we'll paste it down here. And we're going to add a selector. So right here, we're going to add checked. So now we'll know which color swatch is selected. So let's go ahead and add some styling. So we're going to add a box shadow. 0, 0, 0, and we're going to say the width is 2 pixels, and we're going to say the color is black. So we're going to add a transition, and we're going to only add that to the box shadow. We're going to do that with a 0.2 second duration, and we're going to ease that in. We're going to go ahead and click save. We're going to click refresh. And now we have our round color swatches, and we can differentiate which color is selected. Let's improve the design even further by adding this inner white border. This white border is actually a pseudo element, and a pseudo element lets us style a specific part of a selected element. So let's go back to our code editor so I can show you what that looks like. So we're going to use this same CSS selector. We're going to copy, we're going to paste. We're going to add 2 colons and type before. So we want to add an element before our color swatches. So each pseudo element needs to have a content. So we're going to go ahead and type that, and we can just go ahead and leave it blank. Then we're going to add our white border. So we're going to say 3 pixels, solid. We're going to say white. And then we're going to add our border radius to make sure that our buttons are rounded. And we're going to say 100%. So when we add our border, we want to make sure that it's placed on top of our color swatch. So we're going to add a Z index of 1 to place it on top. Now we need to position it properly, so we can use the position property, and we'll say absolute. And then we need to move the border in all directions by -1 pixel. So we're going to say top -1 pixel, and we can just go ahead and copy this. And then we'll paste it 3 times. And then we'll change these to left, right, and the last one will be bottom. And we're going to go ahead and click save. As you can see, we have our white border on top of our color swatches, which gives our buttons a more refined look. So we've come a long way turning our original pill buttons to these aesthetically pleasing color options. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you, and as a reminder, the code used today is linked in the description for your reference. If you have any questions or suggestions for future tutorials, please feel free to comment down below. See you in the next one. Bye.